Hey everyone, I'm Peter.
And I'm Paul, and this is the PNP podcast. So today I'm going to do a little intro, Peter. I've got something for you. I've been
Hi.
doing a little bit of listening to music because music is the answer. DJ Paulo, last DJ Saved My Life. He does a remix. This stuff is fabulous. You guys got to look at it. It's called an Afro Chill is what he calls it. So it's not high energy. And I know you remember back in the day that we would go to the clubs and all that. And we'd go to the dance floor because the dance floor was where we went to get recharged.
That we did, without a doubt. Get recharged or get charged. All I remember is Vogue, and we all screamed like a bunch of girls and ran to the dance floor. It's Madonna!
I'm throwing up the white flag, honey. Save us, save us.
I don't know how it goes today in clubs today because I've not been in one in quite a while. I don't know what all the people are doing in the clubs these days. If there's anthems or gay anthems or not, everybody's jumping and pumping to. I have no clue. I've not been in so long, but I do know that back when we were all going to the clubs, it was kind of like that. A song came on, and everybody ran to that dance floor. It was kind of like it was a cue to be gay.
And you got to remember what I see now, and I see this a lot at music festivals, DJs are playing and you're watching the DJ, but you see everybody up there with their phone hitting record. So they're really not there. They're worried about getting the best view, the best angle on the phone. So they're not in the element. They're actually looking at the element. So I find it like back in the day when we went to the clubs, we went to the clubs to escape the social media. Well, we didn't have social media, but we went to escape our phones.
Exactly. Yeah, we didn't have it. We didn't have social media. We did. We went. Well, at that time, we went because that's how we socialized. That's how we socialized then. Now, people are in the clubs and they got goddamn Grinder on the phone. Trying to look for the guy standing right next to him. Listen, I've been guilty of that. Going to the club and all like, get on Grinder. What the hell for? All you got to do is look. I'm sure you find someone, but no, you got to go on that darn Grinder. Try to find that man for the night. That is retarded. Let me tell you. That's just a side note here. I have dumped my Grinder. I have dumped all those apps. The only one I still have, actually, and only for fun, is Sniffies. The rest of them are gone because they're toxic. They're all just toxic,
I gotta agree with you, and I got Facebook. I get enough dick pics on Facebook just to let you know. Keep them coming too. I don't mind them, but some of them you need to do a little photoshopping, or I don't know, because some of the pics, be aware of what you're sending because it might end out in social media, and at least somebody shares one of my pics. I'll be like, yeah, that's me. You like it? But
bold and beautiful.
Yeah,
there you go.
We were talking. I know I'll go for a little bit. Last week we didn't do the podcast. It was last Sunday was actually it was AIDS Day, which really kind of hits it to my heart here. And I think nowadays we think that AIDS, now we have PrEP and people don't worry, but it's still prevalent. It's actually not so much in the gay world because everybody's doing PrEP, but in the straight world, I do see an increase in the Black community and the Latin community. So listen, still be aware there are still diseases, and it's not just AIDS you have to worry about. It is gonorrhea, syphilis, all other things now. So
yeah, it's about.
We were talking about being a little depressed, and I think that's a good topic for us to talk about now, and with shorter daylight and just in general in our lives about depression and this holiday season. It's a struggle, and I think I don't want to throw you under the bus. I want to say that I get depressed in the winter. That's why honestly I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do nothing because there's so much shorter daylight. And I love the sun, and I find that winter cold and being, what do they call, cabin fever? You're stuck in the house all the time. So depression is real, and it touches everybody. People look at me and they say, "Oh, you're happy." I said, "No, I'm depressed sometimes at night. I'm sitting alone by myself and wishing I had somebody, and a little depressed."
I agree. I agree. You know, I mean that is true. Well, I'm in Florida, as we all know, so there is no winter. So when it does get cold, I don't really get depressed. I get excited because I miss my hometown. You know, back there where you are, wonderful the Berkshires. I miss the snow and all that. At this time of year is synonymous to me, snow with Christmas. So I'm not having. It took me a long time not to get used to not having snow. So now when the weather gets cold, like this morning, it was 50. I mean, to you guys, you would think it's summer. To me, I'm like, oh my God, it's cold out. Where's the jacket? You know what I mean? But I love that. It's a happier time. I'm out bopping around in this cute little vest and, my little pants and shoes and doing my thing. And no, I can't say it's the holiday that depresses me. I mean, I think people, yeah, I agree. People do get depressed around the holiday. I'm not really sure why. What do you think the reason is?
Well, I think a couple of things. I mean, one, you are tend to be drinking a little bit more during the holidays, and we know, and I'm not on the AA kick, but I'm telling you, we know that alcohol is a depressant, marijuana is a depressant. We take these things and put them in our bodies because we want to break away from all the craziness and the stress of the holiday. And in actuality, when you get up the next day, you're still depressed. Now you're just depressed with a hangover, or you didn't get enough sleep. Because well, we know when we drink, you don't get the best sleep. It's not a good 8 hours of sleep, and sometimes you're going into work. I mean, I went in one day at 5 o'clock, and I had to be there by 5 a.m. So that means I was getting up at 3:30 to be to work by 5, and I'm like, ooh. And so that wasn't good sleep. So
No,
I
it's
had,
rough.
yeah, it's a lot. It's the depression of, what do I get for gifts? And, I got to get this done. And it's just trying to, close up the end of the year and making sure you checked off all the boxes on the things that you wanted to do.
I agree. We know the thing. You talk about gifts and presents. I hear a lot of people today saying they don't have the money for them. There was even my sister showed me a joke from my niece saying about what's everybody getting for Christmas or something like that, and it said it's a meme or something. It's on Facebook or somewhere on social media, and the person is singing all of my loves. That's basically what she's saying. You're getting her love. That's about it. You're not getting no damn gifts, bitches. Okay, so that's the way it is. So I'm kind of the same way. Like, just know, I'm probably not giving any gifts this year. And it's funny, my sister, I was chatting with her this morning. My sister, Tisha, I said her name, hi Tay, back in Massachusetts, mentioned cards. I'm like, oh God, yeah, Christmas cards. So yeah, there are some things you do think about that you figure you have to get. And I don't want to totally ignore Christmas because I think people expect you to be joyful and to share your love and joy. So I can't be the Grinch. Well, I could be the Grinch, but deep down, do I really want to be the Grinch? I mean, this is a special time of year for so many people. I love Christmas. But financially, a lot of people, as I was saying, just really can't afford it with what's happening with food and so on and so forth. It's hard to manage.
I mean, I will say, yeah, when you go to the grocery store and you're dropping $200 to $300, and I'm a single guy and I'm dropping $200. I mean, I look at people that got 3 kids. I'm like, okay, where's all this money? You're spending money on the necessities, and the necessities are food, clothing, the gas, the just the living, the heat, the electric, just the basics. And then you have something come up where you get a flat tire, the engine. And my niece, I went to see my niece down in Worcester, and her car, it overheated, and it's like these unexpected things come up that you
They
are
do.
like, wait a minute here, I didn't save for this. And a lot of people, we don't have savings like our elders. There's a savings account. Who really has a savings account now?
I have one, but there's like $2 in it. I keep saying I'm going to save money, you know what I mean? But then, like you said, something comes up. Matter of fact, just a couple of weeks ago, my tire had a nail in it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh great, it didn't cost a fortune, thank God. It was $25, you know what I mean? But still, it was unexpected. It's $25 I wasn't expecting to spend that week, and I did. But anyways, get back to Christmas really quickly. So cards, yeah, I have to go out and find some and send some. I mean, I don't Don't get me wrong. I love, you know me, I love wrapping gifts. Everyone says I wrap the best gifts. I never want to open them. They're so pretty. And I love just coming and just, sharing and giving. It's wonderful. But this time of year or this time around, I think many people, myself and maybe even you, are just not feeling it. I've seen people online on social media saying they're just not feeling it this year.
Yeah.
So,
I don't disagree with you, and I Christmas, and when I was younger, Christmas wasn't a big thing. My mother was a single mother, and she took care of us. There was 4 or 5 kids, and she told us, at a young age, there was no such thing as Santa, and that you
right.
get gifts. That's all I'm getting you, and you got to realize I'm working for these. So we knew the value of a dollar, and nowadays these kids, they want and want and want, and I I just I think that as Christmas gifts, I like the card idea. It's funny you bring that up because I went to Walmart, and I hate to say Walmart because I'm seeing a lot of stuff about Walmart not supporting, I don't know, diversity in their stores. They're pulling stuff out, but I went there and bought a box of cards because I will say something about the people in my job. I get, people send me, food, they tip me, and I think that a card that's a simple thing. Is that it's a simple
The
gesture
gesture.
that
Exactly.
yeah, that has, people, you don't even write letter. Remember when we used to write letters to people in general? And I think the
Well, you know
best,
why?
go
Well,
ahead.
you know why they don't write letters? Because it's social media. The text in the time when cell phones first came out, you couldn't text abroad. Remember when cell phones came out, you couldn't just have the simple plan and you were able to text. You want to text further or call further, it costs money. Now in this day and age, it doesn't cost a dime. You can talk to somebody in Alaska, you know what I mean? Or text them. You can email them. You can FaceTime them. You see what I'm saying? So there's no need to write a letter when you can shoot an email. That's your letter. Or you can just call them up and say, hey, So that's why there's no more letters writing now. I mean, is it nice to receive a letter? I'll tell you what, our dearest friend out there in California, sent me a care package a while back. It was the cutest little thing. Had all these little socks in it, and little things that he gathered over the years, and he sent it to me at a time. Remember that time when I was kind of down, and he had sent it to me, and inside it was a simple little pink index card, and he wrote a little something on it, so I can understand that someone writing something does seem to hold more value, maybe, than to someone telling you. I don't know. I felt a lot of warmth from that. I thought it was sweet, and because you know what it is, you're able to put that away, that little writing. You're able to keep it, that little letter or whatever it might be, and put it away and look upon it again. You know, what I mean, not that you couldn't look up an email again, but it's not the same. It doesn't have the same uh, uh, spirit to it, I guess. You know what I mean? As something sitting in the drawer that you come upon one day, and all of a sudden you go, "Oh my God, yeah, I remember that." You know what I mean? So I see what you're saying about letters, but holiday cards. But here's the thing with holiday cards, though. How long is it before you throw them out? They might be there till after New Year's, and in the garbage they go.
Some people
Which ones do you actually keep? Huh?
yeah. I said some people save their Christmas cards. I mean, I used to. My mother saved the cards, and because when she had passed away, I'm going through her. She actually has a hope chest, which I don't know who has hope chest, but there were like cards and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, why don't you save all these cards? But I guess in terms of endearment, these things do mean something important. I have some letters that people have written me that I still have. Um,
Mm-hmm. I do
and
too.
there are some gifts that, like, I received this peace, love, and joy as a gift that really means something to me. So I think it's, you know, I guess when we come down to Christmas and gifts, somebody had said to me, do like a secret Santa with you. If you got a lot of family members, do a secret Santa. That's a great idea, I think, because you're only getting one gift, for one person. And then, if you're a big family, it saves on the stress of it. And then it makes that, the Christmas spirit, I guess, of who you don't know where it's coming from. Hence Santa Claus, because a gift, you think of, this man's coming down your chimney and giving you a gift. In actuality, people who don't have chimneys thinking, okay, well, how's he getting in my house?
Into the water heater.
Right, right. Or breaking in through your window.
I actually like shopping though. I don't know. I sit there and say right now, well, it always seems that the the pros and cons of the holiday season are, especially at this time of year, is they're close together because you have Christmas and you have the New Year. And what happens with the New Year, as we all know, is we all make these crazy little resolutions or say we're going to do X amount of something in the New Year. So now you're prepping yourself for it. You know, in the new year, I'm not going to spend so much money. In the new year, I'm going to this. In the new year, I'm going to do that. So there's so much going on besides it's Christmas. Now you're thinking about the new year, which is crazy. You know, I don't know why. There was a time when I guess the New Year's, well, it always meant something. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if it's true that everybody has a resolution. I mean, do we? I mean, do you have one? I know I kind of have one. You know what I mean?
Do I? I don't. You know, what's interesting is that I've never had a resolution, a New Year's resolution.
Well, you
What
know
is
the old joke. The old
what?
joke. My resolution is not to make a New Year's resolution. I don't have one. What I do now, you know what I mean? You know, for me, this time of year, again, I'll say, it's special to me because not only is it Christmas, which I love, but also my birthday. It's 1 week before Christmas. So I've got a lot going on at this time. So we're gonna take this moment as a little segue into age, as we're about to talk about, because you know, I'm up there. We're not going to discuss my age right now. We're not going to say it on this podcast, but I am. There's something else I want to talk about too. That new term, zaddy. Okay, so you don't have to be 50 or 70 or whatever to be a zaddy. Zaddy, I don't know if you heard the term now that's being used. A zaddy, anyone over 30 or so who is mature but cultured is what a zaddy is. Someone who's got it going on is kind of a zaddy. It's not a daddy, it's a zaddy. If you've seen that term. But yeah, a lot of people are saying that now online. You know, look at my zaddy. But they're using the term wrong. A zaddy is someone who's got themselves together. They give more of themselves. They're cultured. You know what I mean? Of course, I can't say, I don't know if the term means they're supposed to be attractive. Usually a zaddy is, their attraction is through their culture, through how they take care of themselves, through how they treat other people. You know, that's what a zaddy is. You know what I mean? If you look it up on Google, you'll find it. I just found it recently, and I'm like, because I heard someone say it the other day, zaddy. I'm like, why are people saying zaddy now all of a sudden? Then I found out, you know, you go to the internet and you can find anything you need to know. But yeah, so anyways, I'm a zaddy, I think, happy to say. But age in our community, let's get on this because we know this is a topic everyone wants to talk about. I mean, look at me today. I mean, I just got out of the gym. And what's going on with this beard thing? You know what I mean? I'm going through these moments where I don't know. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said to him, why is it everyone you see on social media has a freaking beard? Everybody's got a beard. Why? You know what I mean? Then I said to him, wait a minute. On second thought, it's only straight men who have beards. A lot of hot-looking straight men with sexy bodies have beards. Why is that? Then I thought to myself, wait a minute. I looked at it again. I'm like, well, no, there are some gay guys who have beards. There are a lot of gay guys who have beards. So what's with it? What's up with this beards? Now, by the way, not that I want to show people close up with me. There's grays in this bad boy. Okay? And going back to talking about age, there was a time when, you know me, I don't like growing old. I don't think any gay man likes growing old. I don't know, because at a certain time or point in our lives, the threshold that we cross, we are now considered dinosaurs. We're almost extinct now when it comes to the gay community. We get looked right by. So unless you're working that damn body and keeping yourself looking tip-top shape, it's kind of rough out there. So anyways, we go through a lot. My birthday's coming up, and it took me a long time to embrace my age. It took me a long time to even tell someone my age. It took me a very long time. I can't even believe I'm allowing these. Now, I'm like you. The grays ain't going to be down there. Okay? The grays can be here. The grays can be here. But they aren't going to be down there. It's snip, snip. Okay? So one place you definitely will be showing your age if it's down there. Because a lot of guys, you know, are younger and have gray hair up here. You know, gray hair in here. And they're younger, 20s, 30s, whatever. You know what I mean? But down there, anyways, I give it to you. Go ahead and talk a little bit about age. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I've been referred to as a silver fox, and I said, is that an insult or is that a compliment? But I would have to, honestly, Peter, I have to think that if somebody calls you a zaddy or a silver fox or a daddy in general, I would take it as a compliment. I think that any person that notices you for anything, you know, it should be taken as a compliment, or it's the text and how they utilize it. You know, how are they stating to you, But with that, the interesting thing when you say about depression and getting older, I mean, I just had a friend of mine lose her mom, and she was 70s, I think, and I think that your depression is realizing you're looking at your what you did in your life, and you're reevaluating, like, did I do all these goals that I wanted to do? And do you think maybe that's where your depression comes from, is that you feel like you're almost at the end,
Hmm.
and you're reevaluating. You're like, oh, did I do these goals? And if you didn't, then you're really hard on yourself.
That's very true. That's very true. And I mean, like, I'm fortunate enough to not. I mean, I don't want to jump into suicide. It's a very sore subject with me, for sure. But I'm fortunate enough that I don't allow myself to get that depressed or that down or that consumed with my age or anything like that, that I would go to those measures. You know what I mean? I'm thankful for that. So I try not to think too much about, oh, what did I not accomplish? Or what do I have left to do? I did that for the longest time, and okay, and I probably still do it a little bit now, that I think, oh my God, what have I done? But I think when you get older and you get to that point, I think the wisest thing really to do is to not really think about that, but to just try and do it. Whatever it was you were going to do, it's never too late. You know what I mean? Go ahead and do it. You wanted to, I don't know, say you're 70 and you want to go water skiing. Well, okay, well, if your knees are good, you know what I mean? You can hold yourself up and go ahead. I mean, people think, I know that's not too late for me because fortunately I'm in good health. You know what I mean? I'm in pretty good shape for my age. I'm hitting the gym and all that, and I'm looking better all the time. So I'm physically fit enough that I can do a lot of the things that I still want to do. I ride my bike. I do my little trail riding. Try to tough it up there. So and there's other things that I'd like to do. I'm thinking about, well, not really running a marathon, but probably street riding. Where you ride for a few miles or whatever. I'm thinking about joining something like that. But I guess what I'm getting back to is that instead of thinking about what you didn't do, think about what you can still do if you want to. That's
There you go.
all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I think there's your point, and the question, I think that people should, what we should do is to help people is like, what do you do to take away that depression? So like, because I get depressed because I'm alone and I'm single, and I see these love stories, and I say, is there a man for me? And I'm at my age, I'm 54, I'll say it, and I get a little worried. Because I see these couples, and most of them are happy, but then I see some that I'm like, ooh. But I watch. I like to go to movies. I just went to the movies. I saw Gladiator 2. I saw it by myself. I went, but I don't not enjoy that. So to find things to make you get out of your depression, I say tea. I'm actually drinking elderberry lemon balm
I'm
tea
actually
from
drinking ginseng.
ginseng. Yeah, ginseng's really good for you.
So actually drinking tea and spilling it at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that the tea thing is good. I say, the walk. I mean, I walk every day for work, so I mean that's something I do. So for you, I think you have the luxury of going to the beach. That I would love to do because I love to walk the ocean. I mean, I think
Right.
that unplugging and getting out of the social media thing and just going and being present in the moment, whether it's hiking,
Mhm.
the beach, some kind of body motion, because we know if when you're, what do they say, a body emotion stays in motion, or
Dead emotion, right.
right. So when we get older, we're tired. I mean, it is what it is. Your body is an engine, and it's getting old, and we
Mhm.
try to find ways to utilize and make it less stressful and a little bit happier. And when you're reevaluating it, you should look into doing some self-help, and whether it's yoga, meditation, music is huge for me. I mean, honestly, Peter, you know me, I wake up singing and I go to work singing, and people look at me like I'm este loca, and I am crazy. But I go to work, and my first stop is at Berkshire Ortho, and where I'm from, and I go in there every day with a song for the ladies. I literally sing them a song every day, and they tell me that it brightens their day, and by that saying, brightens my day, because if I can support somebody else, then and hindsight, they're bumping it back to me and picking me up. So picking each other up, I would have to say, is a good thing, because you see a lot of this bashing on social media and all that. And I think that the reverse of it is, if you say something positive or you radiate some goodness, it does come back.
It does. It does. I agree. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I was checking my phone because it seemed like it was running out of power. Don't do that. Hold on one quick second here. Let's see what's going on. There we go. But anyway, go back to that. You're right about the body. You know what I mean? I mean, we're going to toss it back. I mean, growing old is the same, whether you're heterosexual, gay, transgendered, it doesn't really matter, whatever you are. Getting old is getting old. We're all going to get old. Doesn't matter who you are, what you do, how you do it, you're going to get old. So, but it's funny that you say that about your body, because sometimes I'm sitting at the gym and I'm working out and I'm doing that rowing machine or whatever, and I'm like, oh my God. And I say to myself, you might need to be careful. You could have a heart attack or something. I don't even know. Because, the funny thing is, I went to my doctor the other day and he mentioned a heart murmur, which I know I've had. I've had it ever since I was a kid. I have a heart murmur. But now all of a sudden he seemed concerned about it, and that freaked me out. I'm like, what do you mean? What, you think it's going to cause a problem? Is it I don't know, so we should probably have it checked. And I'm like, well, that's weird. Why after all this time, when I've had this thing since I was a little baby, all of a sudden we're concerned about my heart murmur? It's weird. But that brings you back to remembering, oh my God, I'm not as young as I used to be. For you and I, you love to dance and bop around and stuff, listen to your music, so you don't think about it in your head that your body is 54. I don't think about it in my head that my body's older than your body. I won't say my age, not yet. But you know what I mean? And we do things with our bodies that we think our 20-something-year-old mind still can do. You know what I mean? Until you realize you can't do it.
Oh, I remember I used to break dance. I mean, I was a terror on the dance floor. I mean, I would tear a rug up. And now when I go to, I mean, I was going out Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then going to work. I mean, I remember getting home at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning and getting up at 7 going to work. That don't happen now. So your body it's slowing down, and I got pains in my legs that I never had before, and I'm like, okay, what is that? It's funny you say that, because I'm like, is that a blood clot? What is that? What's going on? Because I think you check, you do a little body checking, because you feel the aches and pains that you didn't when you're younger. You think you're invincible. And now, as you get older, that little pain, you're like, oh, what is that? Is it, I mean, now with diabetes, with, all these things that are coming out, osteoporosis and, Alzheimer's. I mean, you start forgetting stuff and you're like, oh my God, do I have Alzheimer's? Because that's real.
Yeah, it is real. It is real. And it's funny you say that, because that's what happens as we get older. We don't realize it until we realize it. You know what I mean? That I'm of that age where these things could happen. All of a sudden now I've got high cholesterol. Where the heck did that come from? You know what I mean? So now I got a pill for high cholesterol. My doctor said my cholesterol is perfect right now. I said, great. You know what I mean? I'm still eating the same junk I always eat. Not going to stop. Because again, as you get older, there are certain things that you grow accustomed to doing, and you're going to do them because you say to yourself, hey, I'm at this age now. I'm going to do it. I don't really give a crap. What's going to happen. You enjoy. I don't know if people might still have that same mentality when they're younger, but you know what I mean? There are things that my doc would say to me that I shouldn't do, like eating late at night or having too much sugar, but I do it anyways. I know my body's okay. I'm in good health. I won't go crazy over it. But I mean, there's a certain point in your life where you get to be a certain age where you're like, well, you know what, God done, I'm going to enjoy myself, because, there isn't, don't want to say it's be doom and gloom, but isn't much more time left to me. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, and that's what we think about it. As we get older, we realize, oh my goodness. And I did that for the longest time. And I think that's half my problem when I get down the way I get sometimes, is that I sit there and say, oh my God, I've only got X amount of years left before I'm not here anymore. Side note, I don't know if you saw this video with Coldplay doing that new song with Dick Van Dyke. Have you seen that? Absolutely wonderful. I posted it. Absolutely wonderful. But there's a wonderful example of a gentleman. He's going to be 99 soon. He's 98 right now, 99. And if you did see that video and you listened to him, folks, out there in our podcast world, check that video out with Coldplay and Dick Van Dyke. it will give you a really good outlook on what of how you should feel when you get older. Because Dick Van Dyke was priceless in that. And everything that he said, the man had his full faculties. He was boogieing a little bit, all of that. He just had joy in his face, joy in his heart. It was actually filmed at his home, I think in Malibu, something like that. It brought me to like, oh my God, if he's not my idol right now. 99. 99. If I can only make it to 99. But here's the thing about it. You say to yourself, do I really want to get that old? Some people have said to me, oh my gosh, I want to get off this earth right now. I'm like, they're like 65. I'm like, what? Why? You know what I mean? You really have that nothing to live for? Why would you want to go now? I mean, but I would love to be 99, still shaking it, baby. Get me on a gay cruise somewhere. I'll be the powerful. If I can do that, hey, I am not going to slow down until I got to slow down. And if it's not ever, or until the day my eyes close, then that's when it's going to be. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep pumping that iron. I'm going to keep riding that bike. I'm going to keep doing the things that I do because, for the main reason, because there is so much less time left in our life. You know what I mean? That it's probably smarter to enjoy it than to get depressed over it and worry about it, in my opinion.
Right, and agree with you. I mean, I think, well, I say to you, Peter, I mean, we talk usually every morning, and when I hear you going to the beach or you going to the gym, I give you respect. I mean, that's kudos to you, Peter, because I think that when I look at you, I mean, you're a little bit older than me, but I will just say you look great for your age, and you have been through some shit.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, we've all been through some shit, but you have been through some shit.
Yeah.
And on the other end, and you may not be a full motherfucking goddamn parade of bouquets, but you're still marching in that parade, and you still have it. You have a plan. You know what you want to do. The PNP podcast. I mean, this is something that you initially started, and you wanted to grow as a career, and I respect for you. So I have respect for you, and I think that you have a motivation and there's an insight that I see in you, and so I say respect, kudos to you. So I want you to realize that. When's it? December 18th. That's your birthday?
Yeah, December 18th.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't to tell people. Like I said, I have told people how old I am because now it's not that. Someone said to me, you should be proud of it because when you tell them your age, they're going to go, oh my God, I look at that age. And I'm like, okay, well, that might be good if someone said that to me, but then again, it might be bad. Someone said, oh, I hope I look that great at that age. Oh, what do you mean that age? What are you trying to say? But I'll agree with you in saying that I too am proud of myself because I have been through the ringer and back. We talk about, we'll step off for 1 second and mention about my book that I still don't know. I'm up in the air about writing. You know what I mean? Sometimes I think it's a really great idea because people can understand what I really have gone through, but we'll just jump off of that for a minute and say that, yes, considering everything I have gone through, I am still here. I look pretty good. I'm healthy. You know what I mean? And I'm going through every day the best that I can. And I've got so much baggage. It won't even fit on an airline. You know what I mean? If I wanted to go somewhere, they'd be like, bitch, you better send that parcel post. I'll call your nearest postman to take it because it ain't going to fit on this plane.
It's definitely cheaper to send it USPS than it is to be sending it on that plane now.
They said, you ain't taking this stuff, but you better find some place to put it in storage because it's not coming with us. But yeah, and thank you again for saying that, but that's the point we're going to make here is that you will be what you want to be if you want to be it. It isn't too late. I see all the time, especially from you when you post things, and all of that. Social media can sometimes be great. And sometimes we're going to go into this again for a quick second too, because I want to talk about this for a moment about how social media is and how you can seriously get affected by it. You know what I mean? I realized what's happening to me when I see all these bodies of men, looking so absolutely beautiful. There's so many of them on there. I can understand how young kids, I think we talked about this before, how the younger generation can get, what's the word? What's the word I'm trying to think of? Can get sad because they don't, body shame and body image, whatever you want to get it. But the point I was making, that I almost had to turn off notifications to some of these guys because I was starting, at my age, I should know better, but I was starting to feel like, oh my God, I don't look like that. Why do I not look like that? And I was getting all sad and stuff. It took me a while to go, Peter, you look like you look. You have to understand, who cares what someone else looks like? You know what I mean? You have to. That's what it came to me. I don't care anymore. I cared for the longest time. We're gay men. You know what I mean? So I cared for the longest time that I didn't have, big muscles and, 6-pack ab, and I wasn't like 6 foot tall, or I wasn't blonde, or I wasn't blue eyed. I mean, there was a time when I worried about it. For the longest time, I was disturbed by all of it. I wanted it so badly because I thought everyone was succeeding or doing better because I didn't look like that. The point I'm making is that, you have to embrace it when it comes to your age. You have to, yes, it is a number. Okay, but in this world today, it's still a cruel world. You know what I mean? You could be at a gay bar and see a cute looking 20-year-old, and you try to approach him, and you're over 50. Might go well, might go bad. You know what I mean? If you got a fantastic body, I'm saying that big package downstairs might just go quite welcome zaddy. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? But if you're looking like you're looking really bad, you know what I'm saying, and you approach someone. So I shouldn't even go that way with that. I think I'm going the wrong direction on that one.
Well,
I guess in general, I'm trying to say, go ahead. What are you going to say?
I think that, you're right. I think, especially like now with AI, and when you're looking, I want you to realize this, is that sometimes when I look at these posts, I look at these pictures and, like, I mean, you see them with their big old package, and you see, you can see these enhancements. Like, literally, the AI is changing the way, you're right, we, the people, look at, we think that's a reflection of us. And us, when we were growing up, we would go into the club, or we would walk down North Street. You remember North Street, walking down North Street?
Mm-hmm.
We would see people at the mall. We'd go to the mall and hang out, and you'd see your friends, and that's how you judge your fashion, or because you had made clothes by yourself. You had Beetlejuice, and so you guys, you would do these. I remember you had the safety pins going all the way down the sleeves,
and inside all jackets.
Yeah. So we had that style where we went and we actually saw it. Now on social media, I think the hardest thing is that it's deciphering what's real and what's fake, and that's where it scares me. Like, I hate to bring out the Kardashians, but when I look at their bodies, like, some of the girls don't even look the same as when you first looked at them. Like Cher, she is what? She is like
78.
And she looked like she about 50, 60. And I mean, it's like, okay, I get it. You want to look healthy and presentable, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I get concerned when you start doing that.
Let me make a point to you about that, and that's the point I'm making right there. There comes a point in time in your life that you need to realize, in all honesty, that you are at a certain age. No amount of plastic surgery, no amount of cosmetics, no amount of anything is going to stop you from getting older. It's going to sag here. Your hands are going to look different. It's going to come. You can wear gloves. You can do whatever. You can put on wigs. You know what I mean? You can do all that. But at one point, does it become ridiculous? Do you see what I'm saying? There are some stars out there who grow old gracefully. You've seen it. Pamela Anderson was just on something a little while ago on social media. She had no makeup on. You could see she was aging. You saw it. But you know what? You loved her for her. They were all over her. And I don't know, because they're trying to think, oh, no makeup's a new thing. But she was just saying, you know what I mean? That's sometimes you're too consumed with it. I mean, what's wrong with just being, you see so many celebrities who just want plastic surgery and makeup, the yin yang, and all this you got to do, enhance. Why? Why can't beauty just be beauty? You know what I mean?
Richard Gere now, yeah, and he looks, the man, he's old. I remember him, and he was the American Gigolo, and now he's on another show. He's doing a show now on, I think it's on Paramount or something, but Paramount Plus. He looks, for his age, I take that as beauty. That's like a wine. We always say, wine is better when it's older. He looks distinguished, and yeah, silver fox, whatever we want to call him, but he looks like he should look.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah,
think, are we just trying to defy death? I mean, is that what we're trying as a society? Are we trying to figure out a way to, skip out on death? But
we're
we
trying to
know.
defy age, getting older. You know what I mean? I mean, we'll go back to Sheer for a second. I mean, God bless her, seriously, to be 78, but let's get realistic here. Forgive me for saying this, but come on, her boyfriend's how old?
Young.
Talking about
Who?
an age difference.
I just saw
Okay.
Bill Belichick because I was watching the. I don't know if you've been watching the Hernandez. I watched that whole series. My
No.
God, it actually, Peter, watch it. It was quite interesting. But Bill Belichick, they kind of did the, it was the movie, but now Bill Belichick was on the red carpet somewhere, and he had like he's older, and he had like a 25-year-old girlfriend. I'm like, you go, boy.
Yeah, but the difference there is he's not plasticed all up. He's just him.
No, right?
You see what I'm
True.
saying? I mean, without getting, how do I say it, on the nasty side here, but what's it got to look like down there when you're going to be a lady of almost 80 years old? Okay, I don't want to be like, but where's the sex in this? What are you looking at when these clothes come off? Okay, all this makeup's wonderful here, but what's going on in the rest of it? You see what I'm saying? I don't want to, but that's what freaks me out just a touch. Okay, it's like you could have a heart attack, girl, in bed with him. You got slow it down. You might not make it. You know what I mean? Woo!
And don't think
And
that
yeah,
my
and I don't know.
evidence is
And I don't know if we get plastic
irrevocable.
surgery down here or not. I don't know if that's what's going on. Tighten up that woo woo. I don't know.
Well, I guess you can get like a ball tuck, and you right. They tuck your balls if they sag too much.
Uh, you know what I mean? I don't know. Listen, there was a time when I thought there are some things. I will be honest here. I am a slave to the whole idea of looking good at your age. I do. You do it, sure too. You do whatever, facial mask, whatever you do. I don't wear men's makeup. Don't think I haven't thought about it at some point in time to put hands in something. But then I'm like, once you start to do that, here's the thing, even with women, once you start to do something like that, then you always have to do it. You know what I mean? If you go out like that one day, and all of a sudden you don't go out like that, you know what I mean? What's the point? Or you
Right.
forget, oh my God, what the hell did I put my blush on? What? You know what I mean? I do use one product, which I told you about, which we can give a shout out, I guess, to Peter Thomas Roth and that wonderful Firm X eye stuff there, which is wonderful because I do have these sagging eyes. And when I apply that, it tightens them right up. It does take years off my look. It does. And I will do that, but I have enough of it that I can do it every day. It's not like it's something I can't. We all fall slave to it at some point, especially in the gay community. It's like you were talking about being lonely or not having anyone. What's the chance, or yeah, what are your chances if you go into a bar or even to a gay coffee shop or wherever that you're going to find a man? I mean, who's going to look at you? You know what I mean? And you worry about that. So let me ask you this. I mean, when we talk about age, what is it that we should do or shouldn't do, or should we not worry about it that we really won't find someone at our older age?
I think
Would say,
what worries me in my older age is that when I get old enough to where I can't kind of do all that I have to do, the basics, cleaning the house, taking care of myself, wiping my ass. I mean, who's going to take care of me? Because I don't want to go to a nursing home, and because I've been there. I watched my mom. Basically, it was only a month, but I watched my mom. I took care of her, but I looked around and I was aware of my surroundings and all these other people. The person drops their father, their mother, or their grandparents at the nursing home, and they don't go back to visit them. They expect that this nursing home to take care of them. And so I think that when I get older, it's no longer I'm looking for that white picket fence. I'm not looking for the house, the car. I'm looking for somebody because I won't have kids, but I'm looking for somebody that's going to be willing to help me transition to my death. Honestly, I think that I'm looking to somebody to help me to the other side because I don't want to be, alone and dying in a bed or in a nursing home by myself. I think that's what scares me the most in my age when I look as I'm getting older each year is who's gonna help me transition to the other side.
Mhm. Unless, we'll go back to, you're the marvelous Dick Van Dyke, who looks fantastic at 99, has all his faculties. God bless him. You know what I mean? And he said in that video how he could die at any time. He said, but he's okay with that. I would love to make it to that point where all my faculties are still out on me, and if I die, it's in my sleep. But I die with all my faculties. I'm still doing this, having a good time, living my life just like he is. He looks wonderful. The man is going to be 99. You know what I mean? Look at him. You know what I mean? Sure, he is. You can see he is old, but he's got it all still there. It's all still there. And I don't know if that comes from taking care of yourself, getting to the gym or eating the right food. I don't know what. I think you can't, I don't think you can stop what's going to happen to the mind. It's going to happen to you regardless of what. It's probably just in your DNA or whatever the case might be. It's there. Some people might get Alzheimer's. Some people just, I don't know. Some people are fortunate like Dick Van Dyke. And who else? There's a couple other people who are up there in age that are still, have all this. Well, I mean, Cher, 78. Dolly Parton, you know what I mean? They're all still doing their things. So I think if anything that I would love to have happen, I would love to be able to keep all my faculties until I fall asleep I go to sleep and don't wake up, or I'm in the hospital because of some sort of heart failure and it's done. You know what I mean? But up to that day, if I'm able to be me, always remember those around me, being able to do, like you said, wipe your butt and like that, would be fantastic. That would be the way. So I'm going to keep on doing it. I'm going to work hard, keep my body in good shape, keep my mind good, you know what I mean? To learn every day, to study, to always keep active. I think if I do that and do that and do that, I'm already at this. Should I just say my age? I don't really want to say it. But
Hey, come on, how old are you gonna be?
yeah. I'm going to be 61, as we all know, this month. All right, I said it. Now it's out there. Oh, my God. Now I'm a dinosaur. Nobody's going to want me now.
You're a cat.
But at 61, look at me. You know what I mean? I'm not saying anything special, but this is the product of someone who gave a darn about themselves. I could have given up a long time ago. I could have kept on with the drugs. I could have kept on with the drinking. I could have kept on all that crazy stuff. And it's funny. There's something about when you get older. I don't know if it's because you have a greater respect for yourself or what. I mean, we're gay men. We have Benjamin back. Let me just branch off again for a second. Did you see that movie, Fire Island, that came out in 20-something?
I did, yeah.
Well, there's like 3 of them. But this is the one with the Asian boys in it. You know what I mean? Did you see that one?
Yes.
I'm like you. I don't normally watch things like that because I don't have a boyfriend. I don't know when I'll have a boyfriend. I'd like to have a boyfriend. And when you watch certain movies like that, yes, it's life, but it's not your life. You know what I mean? I've been to Fire Island. I'm not sure if you have, but I've been to Fire Island.
No.
Wonderful. But what was the point I was getting at? God darn it. What was the point I was getting at? I hate when I do that.
About Fire Island and what was going on in the movie.
Anyways, I wonder sometimes, I mean, I'm not going to be Cher and have a boyfriend who's going to be 30. I don't see that in my cards. I don't see that it couldn't happen. Of course it could. I guess what I'm trying to say, again, we'll go back to this thing, especially in the gay community. Be the best version of you can be. Don't ever think that you're not worth it because there's someone you will be. You know what I mean? Someone's out there, somewhere, waiting to find you or for you to find them. They say don't look for love, it comes to you. I'll give you a prime example. I'll go to my friend. We aren't going to mention his name, but I worry about him. He's 43 years old, my good friend. He's not in the greatest of shape health-wise. You know what I mean? And I try to instill in him, he sits there and says, well, who's going to be there for me? Who's going to like me? Who's going to, who's going to like me the way I look? I said to him this, you don't know that. You're not out there. I said, you have to go out there, make yourself available, let people see you. You don't know who's going to like you. Never say that no one's going to like you. How do you know that? You know what I mean? How do you know that? And so I try to think about that because this is one of the reasons why I'm moving from where I'm at. I have to move to some place where there's a bigger gay community. I can't, like you there, and pitch it out on how you do it. Okay? Because it's much out there, I'm sure. It's because, like we talked about, it's because of my age. I don't want it to be too late. You know what I mean? If you want change, isn't going to come to you. You have to make the change. You know what I mean? I'm terrified of uprooting myself and going to someplace else because I'm comfortable, I'm complacent, but I don't want to be there. I know that if I want to truly be happy, I have to go where I can be happy. You know what I mean? I need to go where there's more people that when they see me, how do I say it before? I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but it's a good thing because I like coffee. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not. It took me a long time. It took me a long time to because remember back in the days when we were growing up, going to gay parties, it was a different time then. We're talking this was the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. There was still, people black and white was not the thing. Blacks didn't date whites and whites didn't date blacks, and you know what I mean. Age was a number. You truly were a daddy then if you were 40, for God's sakes. You know what I mean. We know we were there. Times have changed. You know what I mean. So it took me a long time to grow and realize that it isn't. With the day of social media and all that, and I see that because here's another thing. I know I'm always branching off. I was gonna do a thirst trap the other day. I thought to myself, what do I have to prove? I see all these guys on there with their underwear, on Facebook and whatever, showing their bodies, these little thirst traps and all that, and they're getting all these hits, and I'm like, you know what? I should try them. My body's not so bad. But you know what made me not do it? Was that I don't feel. What kind of person does it make you if you feel you have to do that? What are you saying if you got to put your body on Facebook and sit and flex your muscles and have the scant leave underwear on or showing your buttocks? What does it say about you? You tell me. You know what I mean?
I think that I was just watching this. It was called social media. It's a I don't know if it's a Netflix series, but it's interesting you read that because the girl was actually she was shy, so she was actually being scandalous on social media because it was helping with her self confidence. So it's almost like she could do it on social media, and that way that would help her do it actually in life because she was shy in life. And my only concern about that is when you're putting that on social media, that doesn't ever go away. That's always there. So you got to be careful. And
It's one reason why I don't exactly.
right, because you'll do things that you're in your room and you're videoing. Because I've sent some dick pics and I've sent some videos in my messenger. I have.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me when I'll send it. But you got to be careful because that then will go somewhere, which will end up, on, Pornhub or, anywhere else.
Listen. Back in the day when I had all this trouble that I've gone through, I'll mention this really quickly. But my bathroom wound up on Pornhub. Some dude who I was dating was dicking someone else in the bathroom of my house. I'm on goddamn porno looking, and all of a sudden I see this video, and I'm talking to my friend like, that looks like my bathroom. Don't you know, sure the hell enough it was. Okay, so when you say watch what you do, you don't know. Now, it wasn't me. Listen, we've all done crazy things like send dick pics and all that stuff like that. I have done them too, but here's the way to do it. Never show your face, baby. Okay? And everything I do, my face is never shown. So unless you know me up close and personal, you do not know that to me. It's that simple. So that picture can go anywhere. I could be at a friend's house and look it up and say, oh, this guy's dick. I'm like, well, that's me. But I'm not going to tell nobody. That's people don't understand. Never show that face because when you do put something on the internet, baby, you don't know where it's going to go. There's going to be some old lecherous man who had that thing blown up and is sitting in his room somewhere and he's masturbating to it. You just don't know.
You know me. I walk around naked. I know you've seen me naked. Even I think if you know me, you probably see me naked. But I'm trying to think if I've ever.
Naked, yes.
I don't think I've ever seen. Well, I remember one time we were in a situation. We were at the Flamingo.
The Flamingo, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting evening. We were in one of the rooms there, and it was interesting. But I don't ever remember seeing you, but you were doing something, but I don't ever remember seeing it. So I don't think I've ever seen you naked, but I know you've seen me naked. I think everybody's seen me naked.
Listen, I probably shouldn't put this on social media, but I will. I'm on X, baby. So, you want to see me? Go ahead. Huh? Yeah.
You got to go from me, or what do they call that? What do they call that where you gotta pay to watch?
Oh, I'm not on OnlyFans. I was on OnlyFans, but I got rid of that. I
Yeah.
ditched it. Because here's what I'm saying, and I know we're putting this out there, and people now know this, so they're going to rush to the Judge on X and try to find me. But here's the thing: I was smart. I will not put my face. Now I know there's more money, more clicks, more attention when you put your face on there, but I have never shown my face in anything. So if you go to my ex, sure you look at all you want to, but again, unless you know me up close and personal, you're not going to know it's me. So I actually had someone, friend of mine here in town, I told him about my ex page, and he went and looked. And here's the thing: if you're going to do it, you can't be ashamed of it. You know what I mean?
And you
But
shouldn't
again,
be.
my reason, my reason for doing, I did it because, like you were talking about that girl who did that because of her shyness. I did it to have more, to boost more confidence in myself that I'm thin, and a lot of times I don't think I'm good looking. A lot of times I don't think I'm attractive, and not. But I do have something that is absolutely beautiful. I have an absolutely gorgeous thing down there. You know what I mean? So it's absolutely photogenic. So what the heck, you know what I mean? So I put it out there just to see who would respond, and so many people did, and it made me feel better. You know what I mean? But again, I won't post my face. I'll never post my face because that could backfire. For anything I want to do in the future. It backfires for a lot of people who find out they want to go for a certain job or do a certain something, and all of a sudden they find out, they're on OnlyFans or they're here or there. That's the reason why I cut the OnlyFans. I said that's just. No, that's not me. That's going a step too far. Sometimes you have to realize, how far you're going, what distance do you want to take this to? You know what I mean? And so I backed it up, And again, it has to do a lot. It has to do with self-respect. What? I don't know. Again, I'll ask you this, and we can ask our viewers, and maybe they can tell us sometime. What makes a person want to do that? Be completely naked, or stick things up their butt, or jerk off full view on the internet. What drives a person to want to do that? What is their reasoning? Do they not think of the harm it could do to themselves in the future? What's the reasoning? I don't understand. I would love to know why people do that.
I probably would have. My opinion would be something like, when because I've watched, Pornhub and all that stuff, and I see guys that I've video chatted with, and I think the erotic is kind of almost being like, peeking or spying. I think that's that thing is that you're watching on a video, so you're almost like it's the heightened intense eroticism of watching somebody when they don't think you're watching. Because I've been out my window sometimes. I shouldn't say it too, but I got a neighbor, and I've seen him do something with his girlfriend, and I sit back, grab my coffee, and I'm gonna watch. You're gonna perform. I'm watching. So
here's the thing, though.
And I think that's why people do it, because you're almost like, when you watch somebody, you're praising them, you're giving them compliments, because if you sit there and watch the whole video, it's erotic, it's hot to, immortalize somebody, put them on a pedestal, and vice versa. When you do it and somebody enjoys it, doesn't that make you feel good? Like you've been entertained?
I know why I've done it. I I don't want to say that my reason is healthy, but it was for me and my self-esteem. But again, I didn't push it that far. I was tempted to put myself on there. I was tempted to collaborate with somebody, but then I pulled back from that. It's not for everyone. So, I'll say to our viewers, or listeners, be careful if you ever do that. Make sure you're sure it's something you want to do, because, like you said, once you do it, you can't pull back from that. Both mentally, for one, which is a big reason. If all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, why did I do that? You can erase it and take it off the net, but it doesn't mean someone didn't already get some of those pictures or put them somewhere. So I wasn't so concerned about that, because again, I didn't show my face. So, but I was, for me, I did think about it and say to myself, that's not where I want to go. You know what I mean? Because once you do that, then you might as well just go all the way. Shoot, you might as well do it for money now, because you've already put it out there. So, if you're going to do it up. Yeah,
right. But it's funny because you and it's on the same topic, but that there's this artist, Dixon Dallas, he's not country, but he sings country now,
right?
And it's gay songs, and one of them was Good Looking, and when I'd never heard it, and I was like, is this a gay country singer? But when I went to actually read about him, he actually he's straight, I guess, but he has a lot of gay followers.
Mhm.
And he wanted to write songs, so he obviously not a thirst trap. Well, I guess it's a thirst trap because it made us, it woke gay people up. I'm like, oh my god, he's doing a gay country song, and it was about riding him or
Yeah.
something up, riding his booty, and I was like, oh, wait a minute here. But what I realized that is when I looked at his name, that's not his original name, right? It's like Jake Hill, and he was
Oh,
almost like well, he was like not what would you call it? He was like a rapper. I don't know. It's like a metalhead rapper, but that he did this country gay genre thing, which I was blown away. Like he's like, and he said, I could be gay, I could be straight, I could be bi, I could be whatever I want, but I'm catering to my gay audience. So he almost like he said I had to put that thirst trap out there to get my gay followers to like. And he's a great country singer.
he's got a great voice, but here's my thing about him, and that's he's never gonna get huge with that. And here's a reason why I think I don't know about you, but I don't want to say I'm offended, but it's a little bit too vulgar. You know what I mean? It puts a bad taste in gay people's as to what we do and how we. I mean, we don't act like that. The way he sings those songs about what he's doing, we're not. Yes, okay, we do act like that, but in the privacy of our homes and stuff, we don't go around announcing it and singing songs about it. We don't need to be spilled all over the net. You see what I'm saying? To me, that when I first heard, I thought it was cute and all that, but I was like, that's just a little bit too much raunchiness. It's just there's no need for all that. What straight song do you know talks about a man and woman doing it like that? What straight song do you know? Seriously,
All right.
we're talking that deep about sex and what's it gonna do with their boyfriend or girlfriend. Well, that man gets
So,
down with dirty.
okay, Anaconda, and I don't want none unless you got. I mean, come on, rappers talk
Right,
about
but that's
diving.
they're using things. This man's pointing out saying booty and dick. Okay, there's a difference. That man's
Believe
putting
me,
it
I
out
see
there.
that song, I was like, whoa. I mean, he
You
caught me
know
out.
me. You know me. I'm a firm believer that, especially now with the election, we think about these things, but even before that, what's important to me, which people should understand, is that we are just people, the gay community. Okay, our sex life can be just as kinky as a heterosexual person's sex life. It doesn't really matter. But my point is, we don't need to have attention drawn to us. There shouldn't be. What we do in our lives should just be what we do in our lives. I'm not really for all that. I'm not for all that. Oh, we're gay. Look at us. I mean, let's just be who we are. Let's just show that we can live, like people. Why have we got to? You know what I'm saying? To me, it's just sometimes it's just a little too much. It doesn't normalize us. You
No,
know?
but he never said, and he's not saying whether he's gay, straight, or whatever. But I do, I'd have to agree that he is like he's, utilizing that sexual content in order to make more records or sell or get noticed. And I recognize that for what it is because believe me, he kind of shot when I was listening to the vocals. I was like, whoa, I wouldn't really. I mean, I've said some blunt stuff, but I was like, okay, not in a song that is
Yeah,
actually,
exactly.
and
Yeah,
it's
not the
getting me
songs.
screaming on there.
Well,
Right?
it's all
So,
I like to say today. It's like what they're talking about. It's gay baiting. You know what I mean? That's what happens today. But let's just go off some really quick. We'll talk about something really quick again, which I hate to do this. Let's go back to Mr. Shawn Mendes.
oh,
Mr. Shawn Mendes, the poor guy. You see,
I-
I feel he was forced to have to do this. Now what? Now he's gay? Was a matter of time, wasn't it? You know what I'm saying? But I think it's terrible. I'm glad that Harry Styles and a lot of other artists aren't jumping. I don't want to say on that bandwagon. I really don't like when this happens. You wouldn't push your neighbor's son, who you saw in a pink tutu one day, to come out gay. So why do you need to push Shawn Mendes to come out to be gay? Let him be. Let all of us be. Let anybody who has a private life be. You know what I mean? Just because you're a celebrity doesn't mean you have to do this. Why you got to force people out like this? Now, is he okay? Maybe. Some people don't like his album. I've heard it, and I gotta be honest with you. I mean, it's okay, but it's kind of sad. You
yeah,
know,
well, yeah.
there's nothing,
I
there's
mean,
nothing upbeat in it. There was nothing upbeat. It was what happened to that. That fun
yeah,
loving, singing some good music, Shawn Mendes. Now all of a sudden, he goes from these girls to these guys, and now it's all about sadness. What, are gay people always sad or something? What's going on here? Why is it so morose? You know what I mean? It's not. I push through every song trying to hope to find some sort of beat, and there's nothing there.
No,
Nothing
no.
there.
Well, but I think as an artist, like, the first album was probably what the actual, record labels, what they wanted. I think this is what he wanted to do, and which is okay because I I think, Peter, what will happen is just he'll come out with a third album. He'll come out with another album,
Oh,
and
he'll be all right. He'll be all right.
he'll be all
Sure.
right.
You know what I mean? They all usually are. Will his fame be as huge? I don't know. Here's the thing. Here's the big thing. We always say it. We're here. We're queer. Whatever. Because, and we are. There are billions of us, or whatever there is, 13 million or 14 million, whatever there is. We're strong and we're here. So there's enough to support singers, Little Nas, Adam Lambert, Shawn Mendes. The list goes on. Even actors that are coming out, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's great if they do it on their own because they want to. I think that's great because it does show that, hey, like we say, we're your neighbors, we're your doctors, we're your mechanic. You know what I mean? We are everywhere, and people don't realize that. You can speak to someone and say gay slangs and be stupid about stuff, or say to your friend you're talking to, oh my God, that's so gay, and not realize that person's gay. I've had that happen to me. I've been in situations at work with these guys while talking about stuff, say, oh my God, that's so gay. Why are you acting so gay? And I'm sitting right next to them going, that's not really what gay is, but whatever. Y'all want to think that's what means gay. That's fine. But I don't say anything. I don't come out. I don't have to. Why should I have to come out? I don't care what you're saying. Say what you want. You know what I mean? That's whatever. It doesn't, sticks and stones. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't bother me. It's like at work or at my gym. There's a unisex gym. I don't go in it. What am I going to go in a unisex gym for? I mean, unisex restroom. I mean, I'm curious as to what's in there. What's I'm going to go into the guy's room, gay or not, whatever. I'm a guy, saying. But you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm always big on that. I just think that we fought too hard to be able to be gay. That we should just be able to be gay.
Well, if you look at the Trailblazers, if we go way back, like Melissa Etheridge, Katie Lang, I mean, their songs weren't really sexual. I mean, and you really didn't know they were gay at first. I mean, obviously they came, you had an idea, but they didn't sing them, and she wasn't telling you she was, eating her whatever. It wasn't like she had to. Melissa Etheridge, and in fact, I mean, a lot of her songs, I think what was nice about her music was that it could mean, it was just in general, it was, come to my window, it was about, even, as high school, you used to go, sneak up to your girlfriend or boyfriend's window, and it was,
yeah, it went either way.
It was general. And I think now I think it's the shock and awe. I mean, I think Madonna kind of will say, Madonna, she did a lot of crazy stuff that she made it almost acceptable to, like, cross that line. And because that's how you got more recognition, and how, her book, her erotica, the album, and she reinvented herself every time, but she had to because she's been around for so long. So with Shawn Mendes, he'll probably do the same thing. I mean, I think this was a piece of his guitar acoustic with his band, and I think next album will probably be, I'm hoping it'll be upbeat. I hope he doesn't just, go away. I think that he should turn around and fight back, because
I don't think he'll go away. I mean, you got, hopefully he has a good publicist, or whatever the case might be, and they're going to, put this in whatever direction it has to go in. I mean, what was I going to say? Shoot, I just forgot what I was going to talk about when we were saying that. When you were talking about, when we were talking about lyrics then as opposed to lyrics today. Listen, look at Little Nas. Look at oh God, who else is doing it? Look at Billie Eilish. You know what I mean? You got all these stars now who are, in their videos and the music, they're putting it right out there. I'm talking about girls, talking about boys and boys, girls and girls are all doing it. Little Nas got all over the place. Billie Eilish is doing it. Who else is doing it? Sam Smith, but he's not really doing that. Troye Sivan, you know what I mean? They're all, and that's, I like that. You know what I mean? That's cool. It's about time. You know what I mean? That and what I think what is really cool about it is that the mainstream. I mean, I was watching, or not watching, but I was on social media like we always are, and I saw this whole thing with Billie Eilish coming out of wherever she was coming out at, and all her fans were out there, and she was saying hi to them. But then I saw her, a little snippet of one of her concerts, and all these girls out there. But it makes you wonder: are they straight? Are they gay girls? Or are they just all people being there? It's the same people who go to Troye Sivan. Are they straight girls? Are they gay guys? Or is it a mixture? And I think what it is, it's a mixture because the youth of today isn't so blinded by that as they were back then. You know what I mean? It's a different world today. People are realizing that. The whole thing with the election, you know what? Trump's going to do what Trump's going to do. Am I concerned? Sure. I'm not hugely concerned because in the end, we're going to win, one way or another, because you can't put us back in the closet. Let's just say that. There's just not enough room anymore to go back in there. There just isn't. So on that note, that's what I've got for this one. I don't know if you've got something more you want to share.
I would just say, you know what? I think with depression, the whole topic that we had started initially, depression and age, we're all getting older, and just respect each other, and really, we're all going through tough times, and validate that. It's okay to be a little depressed, and if you need some help, send a little care. I like the idea of that care package. That's a great idea. And it's not about the gifts. We did Christmas. It's not all of that. But if you're thinking about somebody, let them know and just say, hey, I know you're struggling and it's okay. Here's, a hug. A hug it's free. Hugs, when you walk by somebody, give them a hug and say, hey, I feel your pain. I know what you're going through. I've been there. Because we've all been, down in the dumps. And you pick yourself back up, or you have friends that help you get through it, and it's nice to just be better.
Friends.
Yeah. Friends are hard to find, so be careful. What about your friend?
But you're right. What are we talking about? Age, depression, and the holidays. You know what? They all they all kind of go together.
Here's a gift for you. Hey, Peter.
Oh, there you go.
Snow.
Snow. You don't want to see us outside here. It's sunshine. It's like, I don't know, 72 degrees right now.
Yeah, I gotta go shovel. So I've been putting it up and go shovel.
Again, folks, if there's anything, catch us on YouTube, catch us on Spotify, catch us on Facebook. So I don't think we post videos. Well, you do.
I do. Yeah.
Our next topic, I don't know what it'll be. I never know what's going to be until we start talking about them.
Well, maybe we should bring out the. I know what we can do next time is Notre Dame. Do you see that that Notre Dame, the church?
That's the church. Yeah, you put that on there. I'll have to research it and see. Yeah. But all right then. As always, peace out. Have a wonderful holiday season, everyone. I don't know that we'll do another podcast before Christmas, will we?
I think we should do maybe one more. Maybe if not, we'll do one for the new year.
Yeah, we'll probably do a couple more before the new year gets here. I think so. We get keys up to it. So, all right. Well, then, you're going to nama go.
I'm a nama go. You have a beautiful day, Peter, and you look flawless.
Thank you. So do you, my friend. When you wear music is the what?
Music is the answer.
There it is. On that note, folks, thank you for joining us for another wonderful PNP podcast, and we'll catch you all again soon.
Yeah. Bye.